What's up, gang? Hope you're doing well. This video I thought was an interesting one. It's how to train during basketball season without burning out. So this is from the Hoop Sage. We've seen a couple videos from them before, so go like, go subscribe, go follow and support. Let's get into it. I think this would be an interesting topic.
Every hooper knows the feeling. Your schedule gets crazy during the season. Your body starts feeling worn down, and it becomes way harder to get quality skill work in without feeling like you're overdoing it. That's what today's video is all about. How to train during basketball season in a way that keeps your skills sharp, your body fresh, and your game improving every single week without burning out or getting injured. This is a simple, focused approach built for hoopers who still want to gain an edge, even when their season or job makes life busy. And make sure you stay until the end, because I'll be giving you a full sample workout, both
Is this an AI voice?
on court and off court, that you can start using immediately. The biggest mistake hoopers make during the season is thinking they need to train the same way they did in the offseason, and that couldn't be more wrong.
There's true and false. Let's see where he goes with this first.
The offseason is all about volume, long workouts, heavy reps, multiple hours of reps, strength sessions, conditioning, skill development, and building the foundation for the year. But during the season,
Yeah, okay, maybe.
it's all about maintenance and smart progression. You don't stop getting better, but you shift how you get better. The goal changes from building your game to sharpening your game.
I think this is AI. I think this whole video is AI. I'm going to look at the comments real quick. I will finish watching it because I do think it's an interesting topic, and I'll talk about my opinions on it. I got to see this. I gotta see. Nobody's saying anything. Okay, nobody's saying anything. I firmly believe this is a possibly AI script, AI read, maybe. This is just gives me heavy AI vibes, just because like what right here,
All about volume.
talking about what the off season is. It's all about
Long
volume, long workouts,
Heavy reps,
multiple hours of reps. It's kind of like different ways to say the same thing.
hours of reps, strength
Sessions,
conditioning,
skill development,
and building the foundation for the year.
So all of these things are words. They're certainly words, but it's just like all of this stuff is important in season and out of season. You're just going to slightly vary how you do these things based around games and workload. Basically, I've spoken about this a little bit in the past, but I like to bring everything down to the fundamental level. Let's look at it from the fundamental level, because that way it applies to everyone. And then every single person, every single team, every single level is going to demand different things. So let's just assume you have 20 hours a week. Well, let's just say 40 hours is full-time, right? A full-time job is 40 hours. I typically say to players, like, if you want to dress for the job you want, dress not for the job you have. So if you want to be a pro player, well, you need to be doing pro hours. So if you're putting 40 hours a week in your basketball, that doesn't mean you're on the court for 40 hours, but that might mean 5 hours of game film or watching stuff and learning. That might be 5 hours strength and conditioning, 5 hours conditioning, 5 hours, whatever, however you break it up, right? Now, how much you do is going to determine, like, in season, out of season. Do you have 3 games that week? Do you have no games that week? All those things are going to determine, but how much you do is going to fluctuate from week to week. I would say training, depending where you're at in America, you get 2.5 months off in the summer. And so if you're someone who only plays basketball, you don't play any other sports, ideally what you would do is weightlifting during season would just be light sessions, barely progress. Like, you would never max out. You would never do 2-hour weight room sessions, but just enough to where you're either maintaining strength or you're still, some people, their bodies can handle it and mentally they can handle it, where they can spend time in the gym and getting stronger during the season. I did that when I was playing pro. And I did that in college. But some people aren't. So just getting in the weight room once or twice a week just to keep maintenance, that's also okay for some players. So if you can go really heavy on that in the 3-month off season, and really add a ton of strength and be doing a lot of athleticism kind of guided building, you can do that. Also, if you want to work on a new skill, if you're not a shooter and you really want to change your shot or tweak your shot, like the summer is the best time to do it, because you're not having to play games and shoot with this new shot form that you're experimenting with. That's a good time to do that. One thing we're starting to realize now, though, is not everywhere in the world gets 3 months off for summer. America is pretty much the only place that does that. Everywhere else will typically play year round or go to school year round. Like, they don't have that big break that we have. Or even in America, you might play multiple sports. So if you're a basketball player and then you're playing football in the summer, you don't have that time off. So all of that to say, it's much more, it's much better to think about this as workload. 20 hours a week. If you're a young kid, you should be putting towards basketball. If you have a game, that counts as 2 hours, right? So you got to take 2 hours away from somewhere else. If you don't have any games that week, you can probably do quite a bit. You can probably go play 5-on-5 a lot. You can go get heavy reps and heavy volume up that week. I think 20 hours, maybe it's 25 hours for you. Maybe it's 30 hours for you. Maybe it's 40 hours if you're a college player, or if you're a high school player trying to go to college. Like, maybe that's the amount of time you got to put into it. So again, it varies from player to player. I pretty much just now did my own. Once I realized this is AI, I kind of just did my own video on it. We'll fast forward and see what other points he brings up, but hopefully I can just play it through since I addressed a lot of those points.
Reps and drills that reinforce the exact situations you face in games. The best players in the world do this. They don't waste movements. They don't add stress their body doesn't need. They get.
But again, you're comparing, like, NBA players, regular season for them is basically practice. Like, it's not high intensity like the playoffs are. Like, you watch this.
They don't waste movement.
Jimmy Butler doing this right now, he's warming up to play his game. Like, in his game, he's going to work on some different things too that he's trying to add throughout the season. You don't really get to do this in high school. You don't really get to do this in college. AAU kind of functions this way. You can warm up light, like you don't really have to go hard, because AAU is it's just another practice session, right?
They don't add
like what Luka's doing right here. He's going to play 40 minutes. So why does he need to have a super intense workout?
Stress their body doesn't need. They get in, get purposeful reps, and get out. Let's start with on-court workouts, because this is where most hoopers feel the pressure. They want to get better, but they also don't want to exhaust themselves.
You can't avoid, you can't avoid it. Like, if you want to get stronger, you're going to have to lift heavier weights. Can't avoid it. If you want to get faster, you're going to have to run at your top speed limit and add strength. If you want to shoot better, you're going to have to really put in those high level reps or volume, but really high intensity focused reps with shooting. If you want to dribble better, you got to push yourself with dribbling drills. You can't get better and just half-ass everything.
40 minutes max. You're not trying to create fatigue. You're trying to work and decision making. And the best way to do that is with drills that mimic game situations. Ball handling progressions are essential because they warm up your hands, activate your nervous system, and help you lock into the workout. A simple 10-minute ball handling progression before anything else is perfect. You start with tight control dribbles, shift into rhythm dribbles, then move into more advanced combination moves. From there, you should focus on finishing, especially contact finishing, using a...
This is actually how I build my workout. Ball handling into finishing, getting to the basket, focusing on our footwork.
Able to finish through contact, even when you're not fully explosive. It's the same type of training that players like Ja Morant thrive on, being able to absorb contact, stay balanced, and finish the play. Add in some pace control drills, where you learn to manipulate defenders with hesitations.
I wouldn't worry about this. I would do this on my own, just for fun. This is just imagination work, which I also think is important. So probably at the end of a workout.
Training this during the season helps you conserve energy while staying effective. Competitive one-on-one work should happen once a week, or even every 2 weeks, because
honestly, I think this is the best workout you can do as a basketball player, is go play one-on-one. So if you could do it every day, go do it every day. You're literally getting all of the skills that you're going to use in a game. You're getting all of that. If you like, you're getting conditioning. You're having to think. You're playing against someone who's learning your moves, so you've got to get better at your moves. You got to start learning counters. You got to play defense. You just got to be involved the whole way through. And then when you're on the court with your team and you're practicing, now you're working on the team aspect, right? So one-on-one, you're working on what to do, like when you're in the play. So one-on-one with the ball or one-on-one on defense. And then when you're with your team, you work on some team concepts. I think that's the best way to train. When you're by yourself, imagination work, strength and conditioning, that sort of stuff.
With game-like pressure. It's short, intense, and incredibly efficient for maintaining game sharpness. And the best part? It doesn't require a long session. 5 to 10 minutes of focused one-on-one is more valuable than an hour of mindless shooting. Then,
again, it's all or nothing, right? An hour of focused shooting, is that better than an hour of focused one-on-one? No, you need them both.
Off-court training, which is where most hoopers either do too much or not enough. Remember, you are already playing basketball multiple times per week. That alone is a huge physical load. So your off-court training should be light, restorative, and focused on mobility, core stability, and keeping your body moving well.
I think I will say this. I don't think anything revolutionary has been brought into the strength and conditioning industry in the past 15, 20 years. I think the core stability, mobility, all that sort of stuff, I don't think it, I think that's really overblown. I think it's really overblown. I think you should get better at your core lifts. So pull-ups, push-ups, which in turn turn into pull downs or bench press, right? So pull-ups, push-ups, squats, deadlifts, right? I think those 4 core movements, get stronger with those and then incorporate plyometrics, I think is far better than not doing those. And then instead focusing on like core work, mobility, stability, flexibility, all that sort of stuff. Flexibility is important. So like stretching, foam rolling, all that. But you're rarely ever going to see a player that's a freak athlete that's like, he just didn't stretch enough. Now, maintaining like a long career, for example, that helps you for maintaining, like if you're doing a ton of work throughout the week and you don't have off seasons and you're constantly playing, you're playing multiple sports and basketball is an everyday thing. Yeah, that's when flexibility comes in. But if you're just the average hooper, which most people are watching this video, just get stronger with your core lifts, add some plyos, and then play basketball.
Yourself. A great example is doing short full body mobility sessions on days where you feel stiff, tired, or not fully recovered. Think dynamic stretches, lunges.
Like to me, dynamic sort of stretches, that should be your warm-up. That should just be your warm-up to playing. I don't think taking separate days to do dynamic stretching or whatever, I don't think that's necessary. I think we overblow that stuff. I think for pros, like I said, people that have years on their body, people that don't really have days off, like for pros, active recovery, that sort of stuff. But for kids, do it for your warm-up.
Squats, push-ups.
Like you don't need to go heavy.
Arm circles, and light marches. You're not trying to get stronger, you're trying to maintain your body. Everything should be light, everything should feel good, and everything should help your joints move better. For strength training
and you guys let me know down below. I could be completely wrong. I think strength and conditioning is a lot simpler than what we make it. What are your thoughts on like stability, core workouts, mobility workouts, all of that sort of stuff? I think that can just be in conjunction with your strength training, in conjunction with your basketball training. Like I don't think it needs separate focus.
Keep it minimal. Low volume, low reps, low sets. You want functional strength, not fatigue. This means sticking to kettlebell swings, goblet squats, Romanian deadlifts, single leg stability work, planks, and
this is just like a random, he just picked out of a hat. He just picked out some random workouts to do.
And they shouldn't last more than 20 minutes. Think of it as brushing your teeth. It's maintenance work, not a full deep cleaning session. And then there's the thing every hooper thinks they can skip, recovery. But recovery isn't something you earn, it's something you schedule. At least 1 or 2 full rest days per week should be dedicated solely to recovery. Foam rolling, light stretching, gentle.
But again, like that's what I mean, the light stretching and the foam rolling, like to me, if we're talking about that, should just be, you should learn how to do it, learn how it works, and that should just be introduced into your daily routine.
Or mobility work for the hips.
And as you get older, like me, for example, I don't schedule 1 or 2 recovery days. Like, this is my recovery day. But if you have a routine like that, some players do, some people do, where they need that, so they take that day off. For me, I'm pretty good at listening to my body and understanding when I need a break or how hard to go. And if you read Tim Grover's book, when he was training Kobe Bryant, he talked about that. He said that was the biggest thing Kobe Bryant had to learn, was like, he never knew how to take a day off. He never knew how to take a rep off. He always wanted to go 100%. So some players need that scheduled day, but most of you out there aren't Kobe and you're not overdoing it to where you need to schedule a day off. Honestly, it's like listening to your body. And for parents, like, if your kid loves playing basketball and all that, sometimes you got to just be like, yeah, we're not going to go do this thing. You got to make them not go do stuff. But yeah, for most players, again, we just over fixate on some of these things. This is very pro mentality stuff.
Shoulders and midsection. These things keep your body functioning well. You're not just trying to survive the season. You're trying to thrive during it. Recovery isn't just physical either. It's nutritional. You need to hydrate like crazy.
This is very, very important.
Prioritize sleep.
Sleep and just eating properly, super important for athletes.
You're young and athletic, but those habits catch up fast. Your legs feel heavier, your reaction time slows, your brain processes plays slower, and soreness lasts.
This is probably the best part of this whole video. One thing we don't teach well enough here in the States, honestly, I don't know if it gets taught anywhere well, but in Australia, for example, they're naturally, like with the laws and rules they have around like food and ingredients and groceries, things like that, you just get naturally healthier food. Here, it's so much easier and cheaper to eat garbage and junk food. Over there, it was much easier to eat healthy. One thing I noticed was the way my body, like how quickly I recovered, because I constantly was eating healthier foods, as compared to whenever I was eating unhealthy food here. I didn't know it growing up, but now looking back on it, I'm like, man, the amount of times I was like bloated or felt sluggish or just had these nagging swells that wouldn't go down, just like a sore knee or sore joints or whatever. I didn't realize that was all inflammation, and you can control that by the way you eat. So this is extremely important. I'd say this is the best takeaway of this whole video.
Of your training. Beyond that, one of the most underrated parts of in-season development is injury prevention. Most in-season injuries don't come from contact.
You can't prevent injuries as well. This is another thing that I think we over hyper fixate on. You just can't prevent them.
Manage properly.
And
that's why monitoring your body is essential.
Learning your body is super important. But I'll just say, like, I've just seen it so often throughout my career where coaches are like, we're just going to go easy today because we don't want to get any injuries. And I've seen injuries happen because you're doing something you're not used to doing. If you've played basketball your whole life, you've played for 20 years, the last thing you want to do is go practice and be like, oh, we're going to take it easy today, because you don't know how to take it easy. Your body doesn't know how to act taking it easy. Like, you're used to just playing normal. So just do what you normally do. You probably don't normally get injured, so just do what you normally do. When you start trying to prevent injuries, when you start trying to do different things, that's when those injuries happen. Typically, injuries they're usually a lot more what are they called? Not acute, but can't think of the word, but it's usually over like a longer period of time. So like that Tyrese Halliburton, they showed the Achilles or Achilles tear, Damian Lillard, Tatum, all those guys. Someone like Joel Embiid is injury prone, and he's 7 foot whatever, strong, explosive, flex, like doing all these crazy things. Like, he's just going to get a bunch of injuries. Tyrese Halliburton, his situation was calf strain, and it's over the course of 82 games plus the Olympics plus the playoffs. Like, that's just a lot of games. So that injury started earlier in the year and probably even before that. So yes, he could have sat out earlier in the year and mitigated that, but also he probably wouldn't have made it to the finals that way. So that's a risk reward that NBA players and pros constantly have to make. But as a young player and as a coach of high school and younger, don't hyper fixate it. Don't be doing dumb stuff. Don't make your kids do heavy in the weight room and then go have like a extremely tough practice, obviously, but when it comes to like our ability to predict injuries, you just can't do it. Sometimes it just happens. Sometimes you just land on someone else's foot wrong. Like, those things just happen.
If you feel your knees getting tight, your lower back getting sore, or your ankles feeling unstable, don't ignore it. Scale back intensity. Shift into
Go see a physio. Nope, don't do all this. Just go see someone. Just go see someone who is a professional and can give you some advice. Don't try to manage all this stuff. This is the problem.
work and give your joints what they need. Being tough is good. Being smart is better. Another critical part of training during the season, one that most hoopers overlook, comes from the mental side of the game. Film study is one of the best ways to improve with...
I think at all times, not off season or in season, film it's just a prerequisite, I think.
Defenses are giving you, and understand how to make better reads. You don't need to spend hours breaking down film. You just need consistent weekly review. That mental sharpness builds your basketball IQ and helps you conserve energy because you're anticipating plays instead of reacting to them. This is where concepts like Mamba mentality actually matter. Not the social media version that glorifies overtraining, but the real version Kobe practiced. Discipline, focus, and consistency. It's about doing the right things every day, even when they're not flashy. It's about building your game without destroying your body. Ambition doesn't mean grinding until you collapse. It means being intentional and disciplined. Being able to balance work with rest and pushing yourself without crossing.
Yeah, okay, we're getting to the part where the words are starting to come through. Okay, so I do think this is AI, and it might be a person running the content that just heavily relies on AI to help with like the scripting and the voice reading or whatever, and it may not. I could be off, but the fact that I can't tell, it should tell you something. I don't think it's wrong. I don't think this video is necessarily wrong. Like I said, go subscribe. It's still pretty good. It's generically good, but a lot of advice that's very generic is it could be misconstrued like on either side, either end of it, right? So part of this was like, hey, don't overtrain, don't do a lot, and then part of it was like, you got to get in mass reps into something. You got to do this and got to do this. At the end of the day, there's no rule for each person. The best thing in this video I thought was like the nutrition part, extremely important and something that I think is very under it's not really in the spotlight at all, and maybe I should do a video on it at some point. That's very important, nutrition and sleep for young kids. The other part was learning your body. One of the most important things that you can do is learning to identify how you feel, and this is just human in general. Learn how you feel. Learn why something works, why it doesn't work. Why are you hurting? Why are you gassy? Why are you tired? Like start to figure out those things. And then you can start to be like a lot better to yourself, like with your health and all that sort of stuff. So I didn't think it was a bad video. Let me know what you guys thought. And keep sending me suggestions. Appreciate you guys, and I'll see you in the next.